Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. We got some more requests for you guys that you guys want us to review some products. So today we have the Gaspari Nutrition, the SizeOn Max, and the SizeOn Free Contest. We're just going to run through the ingredients like we typically do, kind of give you guys some background on those and answer some of your questions on them. Well, let's go ahead and start it off here with the SizeOn Max. Now, a lot of the ingredients, guys, between the two are really similar. There's only a few minor differences, and the main difference is going to be in the calories. So let's go ahead and get it started off here with the SizeOn Max. Glenn, you want to go ahead and run down the label, and I'll jump in with you?
Yeah, the starters is a vitamin and vitamin C, B vitamins, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, things like that. And then get into the bulk of it. First thing is called Outlast. It's their general carbohydrate blend. Palatinose, D-glucose, which is just glucose. Trehalose and pterostilbene. Just going through those, palatinose is a sugar that it's supposed to provide less insulin spikes. More or less, their idea is that by giving you carbs that don't stimulate insulin, you're going to get less of a blunted response on muscle building while you're working out, or that's what I'm gathering from Gaspari. Next thing is glucose, which is just a simple sugar, and then trehalose.
Which will spike your insulin.
Which will spike your insulin.
Kind of.
Exactly. So you've got one that doesn't and one that does. It's confusing.
Yeah, I don't think they offset each other, and I didn't find any research really on as far as humans. So on the, well, however you want to call it, palatinose or the actual chemical name.
Yeah.
Just the disaccharide is kind of only found in honey. So, but because that might just have a lower glycemic index. That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah, it's a lower glycemic index. I guess not research. The claimed research says that it basically will help with increased usage of fat during exercise, and they're claiming that also with it being with less insulin spikes, there's more usage of fat during exercise and not a blunted response of muscle building also. And then the trehalose, I believe is how you say it. Basically, it's what glucose breaks. Actually breaks down into glucose in the body. It's very low insulinemic response, so there's not, again, no more insulin spikes. Then again, it's confusing when they add glucose to it. The last one is called pterostilbene, very similar to resveratrol. It's very popular in the anti-aging community. It's an antioxidant. It's found in blueberries and grapes. What I've seen is that, or what I read about it that would apply to this product is that it can lower blood glucose levels. So sort of confusing there that it's got two ingredients that are sugars essentially, but very low glycemic, less insulin responses. And then you've got glucose, which is higher glycemic, high insulin response. And then you've got a product that's supposed to help lower blood glucose levels. So, and then the pterostilbene ingredient is very popular with, like I said, the anti-aging, antioxidant community, but in here it's a little...
It's a double methylated form of resveratrol, and it's thought to have a better bioavailability than resveratrol itself. So that's I can see why they put that in there. It's a little more stable too. It's not supposed to degrade as easily. And also, what I saw in the trehalose as well is that it's a disaccharide, and it's usually used as a food preservative. Actually, that's how it's typically used in the food industry. What did you say specifically about that sugar? Trehalose?
Yes. Low insulinemic response, I guess. So when you take it, there's not a huge insulin spike that you would get from a higher glycemic.
And they're trying to avoid high glycemic index carbs because this is supposed to be used intra-workout while training. You don't want your blood sugar coming down too much while you're training. That's my best guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go on to the next. It's the protein synthesis acceleration matrix. It's whey protein hydrolysate. It's got 5 grams of L-leucine, isoleucine, valine, and ornithine. So, you want to break down why?
Yeah, essentially the whey protein hydrolysate is there because it's a hydrolyzed version of whey protein, no lactose, no fat, absorbs very rapidly, and it has your added amino acids. They're not, or at least it doesn't seem to be peptide bonded, so they're all free-forming amino acids, and I think if you watch some of our other videos, you know that we particularly like peptide bonded amino acids for their absorption.
Especially in the presence of other proteins, too. I mean, I think on their own, from what I've seen, they tend to absorb a little better. But when they're combined and they're in the competitive environment with whey protein, which is a bunch of peptide bonded amino acids, you're going to get some competitive inhibition, meaning that they may not be absorbed as well. But there's been some research, I think, specifically on leucine, and it's ability to stimulate insulin, I believe, correct?
Yeah, stimulate insulin and also blunt the catabolic response. So while leucine by itself may not build muscle, it could keep you from using muscle as an energy source, which is good.
So really they're blocking the mTOR pathway here, but the carbohydrates alone should be taking care of that. So.
Exactly. Next is phosphodrive endurance complex, Creapure, just creatine monohydrate. Creatine magnapower, which is a magnesium creatine chelate, so it's basically magnesium and creatine bonded to an amino acid. Disodium creatine phosphate. So again, there's your creatine complex. It doesn't tell you how much you're getting there, whether it's a 2-gram serving or a 5-gram serving, but it does have creatine, which is good.
I would tend to venture to think that it's got to be on the higher end because it's really a creatine product. So
Exactly.
I would think that it's 5 grams, but regardless of the forms, it's creatine. I mean, we need to get caught up in the minutia. That's what it is. It's a great ingredient, and they're using the patent form of creatine, the Creapure, which is the one from Strasbourg, Germany, I believe. So for those of you who are trying to avoid other raw material, if it's from China or whatnot, I guess.
And the last is the Osmodrive Advanced Hydration Complex. You've got taurine, sodium glycerophosphate, calcium glycerophosphate, potassium glycerophosphate, your 3 main electrolytes. And then you've got sustamine, which is L-glutamine. What this is supposed to do, it's a combination of alanine and glutamine. From what I've read on it, it's supposed to increase hydration or absorption of water and electrolytes in the intestines, so that's why it's added to this. And then you've got magnesium glycylglutamine. So inside here you've got your electrolytes and then the sustamine, which is supposed to increase the hydration or increase the absorption of water and electrolytes in the intestines.
That was a study that I saw too, and they couldn't really say for sure if it was the alanyl glutamine that was responsible for it or just rehydrating the subjects, because they took some subjects and they dehydrated them. And then they took another set of subjects and they dehydrated them as well, but then when they rehydrated them, gave them electrolytes and they gave them alanyl glutamine, they really couldn't say if it was just because of hydration or not. So it's kind of a flawed study, I guess, or, I mean, I understand their intention, so maybe we'd like to see a little more research on that to have a little more of an informed opinion on that. So overall, you're looking at 180 calories. So if you're really watching your diet, you might want to avoid this. You know, you can also use this post-workout if you just add some protein to it, because you're getting 37 grams of carbs, 37 of it's from sugar. So regardless of what sugars they're putting in here, I'm sure you're going to get a pretty good insulin spike. So it's going to hit you pretty good. And there's 7 grams of protein, so that's why I'd probably add a little bit of protein to it so you can take it post-workout. So for those of you watching your calories, but still want something like this, you can take it post-workout due to the high amount of sugar. Now, the other version, the pre-contest version, which is really just the low-carb version of it, all the ingredients we mentioned are in it with the absence of the carbohydrates. The protein content's a little bit higher, it's 10 grams of protein instead of 7, and then also, which blend was missing the
Outlast Insutropin Matrix. So it goes from, in this, the proprietary blend of all the the electrolytes, protein, and everything is 61.7 grams, and now with those carbohydrates removed, we've got 27.3.
The Outlast Matrix is sugars to be, So. Yeah, so if you're looking to still take a creatine product from Gaspari, you can use this one. If you're, again, looking for lower calories, this can be used, pre-workout. I guess if you use a pre-workout, you take it because of the amino acids in there to help. Again, the mTOR pathway, those it's to stop your body from breaking down muscle. So if you give your body either, BCAAs are shown to stop it, or you could just take carbohydrates. And if you're somebody who's dieting, you may want to watch the carbohydrate intake, so then that's where something like with some BCAAs would be beneficial. So, so if you guys have any other questions on these products, please feel free to post them. We'll answer your questions to the best of our ability. And thank you.
Thank you.